Hello and good day to you. Today's video will be painting a watercolor floral using Corel Painter 2016. For this project, you need your stylus and its digital tablet or graphics tablet. You need your Corel Painter software too. Open the Corel Painter software, click on File, New. The width of my document is going to be 8 inches by, and the height is 8 inches. Resolution 150 dpi or pixel per inch. Canvas preset Painter default modified. Image name, you can do this later on when you want to save your work, but I'll just write here Watercolor Blossom Spray. The paper, if you want to use the color, you can click on this, but I'll be using a paper. I'll go for watercolor paper, rough watercolor, and then activate it and then click OK. I'll click on this maximize tool here to make good use of my work surface. Then on the brush, on the tool palette, click on the brush tool, and you see some icons here. Click on the icon. We'll use real watercolor brush and real wet detail. The type of watercolor brush you'll be using is real wet detail. Color palette, select a color of choice. Let me go with purple or lilac. Just going to paint something on. I'm going to paint a petal. I like the effect of this watercolor, real watercolor wet detail, because when you paint a petal, you see it demarcates the first petal from the second petal. All you need to do is just paint one petal, let it set, then paint the second one, overlapping it a little, and you see the demarcation. Even if you paint them differently, it still have that effect. I'll just go to layer palette and delete that. Okay. In the layer palette, I don't need to, the canvas, it's showing the canvas. I don't need to add a new layer, but if you want to, you can add a new layer. When using this real watercolor brush, it adds a new layer for you. Except if you are working in layers with the watercolor brush, you have to add a new layer in between so that your petals or your design have different layers. As we progress, you will see, we'll talk more on that. So I'm going to go a little violet on the shade of the purple. Let me see. Okay. Okay. Let me paint this one. Okay, I think I like that. All right, I'll just paint the petal here. Okay, for the size of my brush, sorry about that. For the size of my brush, I'll use 50. You can use a slider to change the size, or you can just go in here, highlight the number, and fill in your number there. The opacity is 94%. You can make it 100 if you want to. Grain, you can do what sort of setting you want. I'm not going to alter them, but I'll just read them out. Grain 10%, concentration 83%, setting rate 86%, weight 96%. Then here you have your setting. You can go in there and put whatever. If you want to rotate it, put it at an angle, something, you can do that, and click on this brush setting. But I'm not going to alter that. I'm leaving that as it is. We'll start painting. We've already selected a color from the color palette. You can use your eyedropper too if you want to. I'm just going to go over it. I'm not releasing my pen yet. I'm not releasing the pen yet or the stylus yet. I'm just going over it, or the brush tool yet. Just going over it until I'm happy that it's filled. Paint another one here. I'm adding a new layer. I'll go to layer, new layer, and I'll change my brush. I'm using still the brush tool, but I'll be using pen and pencils because I want to add the stamens. And I'll choose real 2B pencil. I'll go to the color palette and pick a bright yellow. It's on a new layer. I'll just, okay, it's all right. I'm just playing to see if I like the stroke. I'm going to zoom in now because it's detail and I want to see what I'm doing. I will increase the I'm increasing the size of the pencil because I want to add the anthers. We've done the filaments and I'm and if you make a mistake, you can use the undo button. If you want to work on the same layer for the watercolor to make the other petals, you can go back to the first layer. But I love working in layers. In case I make a mistake, I can delete that layer or alter without having issues. I'm going to go to my brush tool, go to Real Watercolor and select Real Wet Detail. Size of brush 50. And with my eyedropper tool, I'll come pick the color I desire. The one I want is for the other petal, and I'll come here and make my petal. It's creating it on a new layer. If you take a look at this flower now, you will see that some of these stamens are showing in the petals. I don't want that to happen. It's not making my flower look nice or blossom look nice. So I'll go for the eraser tool, go to the stamens layer, and then erase the parts that are in the petal. You have to be careful about it so that you don't erase the full stamen. If you don't like the way the first petal is appearing, the first petal is showing through the second petal, or this overlapping petal, you can go to the first watercolor layer, and you can do same and erase it. But you have to be very, very careful. In this layer, you notice that the first watercolor layer is still appearing on this second watercolor layer. You can go into the first layer too and erase it where the part you don't want. With the eraser tool, you can erase it. Now we've erased it. If we're happy with our flora, we can proceed. I'm going to add a new layer because I want to make another blossom here, and I want it to be on a new watercolor layer. Then I'll add a new layer. Select the yellow color. Then go for my pencil tool. Pen pencil, 2B pencil. Let me zoom in so that you see it. And I'll work some stamens there. I'll increase the size. We've done the filament now. I'll just increase the size a little. To add the anthers. And take a little shade darker color. You can take darker colors of the same, or shade darker than the color you are using to create dimensions. We've created our blossoms. We need to add leaves and other details to make our flora pop, or to make our flora beautiful. So go to the real watercolor, real wet detail. This time we're using a small. Okay. Let me add some buds here. I'll pick the purple first before we start adding leaves. Take a smaller size of brush. 20 will be all right. Size of 20. I think that's. I'll go add the other layer to give it a dimension. It's time for us to make our leaves and stems. So add a new layer to demarcate this bud layer. Go to layer. Then we choose a color of choice. Don't need that. Moss green color is alright. We can go in now with the eraser tool and clean and erase any overlapping in the petals or flowers. You make sure the layer that is activated is the stem. Can resize your eraser brush or eraser tool to get into little details. I'm going to add a new layer to separate this watercolor stem layer from the leaves layer. Take our brush to can go for a lighter shade. And I'm going to add leaves. I'm going to add a new layer because I want to add I want to make a kind of I don't know what to call it. Let me just I'm going to add another one here. This time I'll use let me use the lilac. Like loopings. So I'll go in here and erase any part I don't want. Then I'm going to make this one smaller. And this we have nothing in it or on it. So here's our painted flower. So here's our water blossom spray. Thank you for joining me for this video on our digital craft project for this month. Happy digital crafting and bye for now.